Good morning, everyone. We will now begin the morning service of the Miroku Association headquarters, asking God and Meishu-sama to protect and bless us as we participate today in the construction of paradise on earth. Amatsu-Norito and Miroku Prayer, please stand. 高天原にかむすまります。かむろぎかむろぎのみこともちて、すめみよやかむいざなぎのみこと、つくしのりむかのたち花の、おどのあはぎはらいたも、いませる腹色の狼たちもろもろのまがごと積みけがれを払いたまい清めたまえとまおよしおあまつか神やおよろずの神たちともに雨の淵こ降り立ててきこしかしこみかしこみのまおす弥勒おみかみ守りたまえ先まえたまえ弥勒おみかみ守り先はえたまえ教えみよや主の神守りたまえ先はえたまえ教えみよや主の神守りたまえ先はえたまえくんながらたまちあえませ。くんながらたまちあえませ。Great God of light, creator and giver of all life.
In accordance with your divine will, the long age of night draws to an end. Your radiant divine light, shining ever more brilliantly, awakens the dawn of the glorious age of light, the time long awaited by all humanity. We thank you for guiding us to your divine plan and for the privilege of channeling and receiving Johrei. May our spirits and bodies be illuminated and purified as we lead your truth given to us by Meishu-sama. Make us pure and effective instruments of your divine light, so that we may serve you and all those with whom we come in contact. May paradise on earth be realized, with health, peace, and prosperity, a reality in our lives. Great God of light, bless and protect us. Radiate our souls with your divine light, so that we may truly become instruments of your great plan.
Please be seated. Group Johrei.
May God and Meishu-sama bless you.
Johrei is now concluded. We will now listen to Meishu-sama's teachings. A way to live. Those who guide others with kindness, love, and impartiality, no matter who they may be, acting in accordance with God's will. To deceive others is the same as stealing their rightful possessions. All such acts are betrayals. Become one who can bear any hardship or misunderstanding with a smile, as though it were nothing. God trains and disciplines those who have some great mission to accomplish by giving them many lessons to learn, many difficult problems to overcome. Of them all, I think the hardest lesson for anyone to learn is the controlling of indignation at some wrong committed against oneself. An individual should realize that the more he or she experiences things that must be borne in silence, the greater the mission in life must be. When you reach the point where you can bear any injustice or humiliation calmly, without giving way to anger, you have passed the first stage in your spiritual training, the learning of self control. Remember that God trains all those he has especially chosen through trials. So, whatever irritates or offends you in his way of molding offends you is his way of molding your character. This is the attitude of one who trusts in God.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining this morning service of the Miroku Association headquarters. Today we elevated our prayers, most especially for this 20th anniversary of the 9/11, where so many lives were lost due to this tragedy on that very day. And today we have a very special activity to pray, to elevate our thoughts. At, we have the one day in paradise. Finally, the day arrived. We've been preparing for several weeks. So many people, especially our youth group, got involved. So many videos have been posted announcing this very exciting activity. We are going to be for half an hour giving Johrei, receiving Johrei, elevating our thoughts. Again, for those who lost their lives in this day, so many people, those who didn't lose their lives, but they got affected in a negative way. So it's our opportunity for healing. And so I would also like to encourage you to, while you're visualizing this and praying for this day, that a prototype of a paradise is our one day in paradise, right? It's our prototype of paradise in North America. That this is not just a dream, it is within our reach, and it will be manifested much sooner than we can anticipate. Meishu-sama wrote, I wish to invite all those who are suffering to this paradise. Come and stay, even for a little while. It's Meishu-sama's wish that a sacred grounds would be established in North American soil. He even mentioned that it will include an art museum with the funds donated by its people. If you have been a member for some years here in the United States and Canada, you have heard about this subject.
However, so far nothing enduring had been materialized in this regard. I personally don't know if it is the time, but what I know and believe is that this one day in paradise today is our very opportunity to be manifesting what already exists in the spiritual realm, a sacred ground in North America. So let us channel and receive Johrei, being conscious that we, as pioneers of salvation, are setting the cornerstone or the foundation of Meishu-sama's vision for North America. I will be participating in this activity and would love to have your presence to help us create the energy that will accelerate the materialization of a beautiful, loving, and yet powerful site for the spiritual growth of us members, friends of Johrei, as well as all our ancestors. Today, I would also like to share this faith experience from Carla Maria Carvalho Teixeira. She's from the Amarante Johrei group, Portugal. Carla was born with bowed legs, which caused her certain difficulties in mobility. When she was a child, for example, she couldn't hear a scream, which made her emotionally affected, and she would stop walking. She went to the hospital several times, as she could no longer walk normally and had to rely on crutches. After several comings and goings, doctors didn't know what else to do. As her health worsened, they sent her to a hospital in Oporto, where she was hospitalized for a month, undergoing treatments based on cortisone and physiotherapy. Later, she started treatment to prevent her condition from progressing. 2 years later, and because of a cold, she had to stop this treatment. The situation got even worse, affecting even her self-esteem. A few years later, a friend called her and asked about her health condition. And at that time, as she was in a lot of pain, she was bedridden. They talked a little, and this friend invited Carla to join her on the following Thursday to visit the Amarante Johrei Center. Even with many difficulties, as she still depended on crutches to get around, she arrived at the center where she was very well received. On that day, she received about 1 hour of Johrei, and when she left the center, she felt much better. On that occasion, she received the following guidance: receive Johrei as much as possible, dedicating making flowers of light to take the light of God of Meishu-sama to family, friends, and neighbors. Study our church's publications. Participate in the main activities of the Johrei Center. Then the following Thursday, she returned, guiding 2 more people as they witnessed her changes. During that week, her pains disappeared. Amazingly, she has been driving and her crutches stay at her home. However, after some time, she stopped participating in all activities and had a relapse. In a short time, she returned to the situation she was in before being introduced to Johrei. It was then that she looked for her friend who had guided her and that inspired Carla to resume all her activities. Immediately, once again, she confirmed the importance of continuity in our basic practice of faith, which made her feel much better. This time, she was guided to make a special donation of gratitude for the blessings she received from God and Meishu-sama. After doing it, she didn't hesitate any longer and decided to deepen her knowledge through the membership classes. She received the sacred focal point of Hikari, and soon after, she requested the enshrinement of her ancestors, the Sourei Saishi, where she felt immediate differences in her personal and family life. She began to look at herself in a different way, thus improving her self-esteem. She learned deeply how fundamental was the continuity of our basic practices of faith in her daily life. The importance of the mission of those following up on her and accepting the guidance received wholeheartedly were decisive at this difficult time of hers. She's already taking care of a person. She will commit to following up on this one as it was done to her. She also intends from now on to continue the practice she was already doing. In addition to improving her daily and monthly donations of gratitude, having the dedication of the consecrated picture of Meishu-sama for the creation of a home of light. This is from the Johrei group. And if you would allow me, I would like to share another faith experience. This time it's from Brazil. It's from Erika de Souza. She's from Mogi das Cruzes. Erika got engaged in 2018 and moved in together with her fiancé in November of 2019. Since they made that decision, they have never lost sight of the desire to make their marriage official. However, they were unable to set the date and make arrangements for the wedding. Whenever they thought about doing it, some impediment arose. It seemed that they lacked spiritual permission to do so. At the February 2020 monthly appreciation service in the Guarapiranga Sacred Grounds, she heard the head minister asking who has read the 10 teachings he had recommended in January. She realized that she had not followed the guidance, which made her feel disappointed with herself. She made the decision to read them daily, and the next day she already put them into practice. In the same month, she participated in a training session with the minister responsible for the Johrei Center. Upon hearing about the importance of giving a daily donation to express gratitude, she decided to do so. With the onset of the pandemic, Erika and her fiancé intensified our practice of faith at home. Prayer, Johrei channeling, reading of the divine writings, and Mitama Migaki, which is the dedication to cleaning our surroundings as a soul polishing. She kept her mission as a family assistant, as well as the weekly dedication at the Johrei Center by appointment, and with due care regarding the recommendations by the health authorities. Erika works as a representative for a beauty products company, and sales have dropped significantly. Even so, she kept offering her donations of gratitude, thanking for the clients she still had. In late September of last year, Erika and her fiancé decided to set their wedding day. Following the guidance of their minister, they first went to the altar to report to God, Meishu-sama, and their ancestors the decision and the chosen date, which would be in less than 60 days. They intended to have something very simple, and she didn't even intend to wear a wedding gown. However, things took a surprising turn in proportion. They were invited by a great friend to participate in a fair for brides and Sweet 16 celebrants. In this event, some services needed for a wedding party, such as photography, flower bouquets, etc., were raffled. They were drawn and awarded with 5 of these services. On the day chosen for the wedding, everything went wonderfully and was far beyond what they dreamed of. She strongly felt the presence of her ancestors approving and blessing their union. They understand that by sincerely engaging in the basic practices of faith, prayer, Johrei, dedication, reading the teachings, and expressing gratitude through monetary offerings, regardless of the circumstances, we spiritually build the necessary conditions for God to act upon, and blessings materialize in our lives. Today, they continue doing their best to fulfill their mission in the divine work and seeking every day to build a paradise-like home. Thank you very much for listening to these experiences. Wish a most wonderful Saturday and look forward for your presence at our One Day in Paradise event, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you very much.
This brings to a conclusion of our morning service. Thank you, everyone, for joining us, and have a blessed day.